I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. It is better to die saying the truth than to live telling lies and living a lie. When elders refuse to speak, children will think that iniquity is a tradition and a culture. I was watching on TV the invasion of the Ikeja electricity distributing company by armed, uniformed men. Later, I saw the CEO of the Ikeja electricity distribution company with an Air Force officer, I presume the commander of an Air Force base in Ikeja, during a press conference that they have resolved the issues involved amicably. But let me state some things up front. Any person still serving in the military should be younger than I am, because I am 66. My classmate retired as a rear admiral. My junior at Government College Ughelli has retired as a major general. And somebody who is 1 year ahead of me, several of them have retired as major generals. So I have my uncle, Major General David Ikeja of blessed memory, went to government college like me, related to my mother at Owo. These are gentlemen. And the Nigerian military, the Nigerian police force have done very well in Congo, in Lebanon, several places they've gone to. And their primary duty is to protect the civilian population and the territorial integrity of the country. We must decolonize our police force, our military, of the mindset of seeing the civilians as bloody civilians and that they can be brutalized and traumatized when they have conflict with civilians. It's been a recurrent decimal over the years. In Ugep during the Civil War, Asaba during the Civil War, several places. So we need to retrain our policemen and our security forces, Air Force, military, Navy. They exist because of us. They are paid with our taxes. At the same time, we must treasure our military men, policemen, DSS. We should at no time assault them, insult them, or traumatize them. Non-state actors have no right to traumatize our security personnel. At the same time, there needs to be a retraining and a reconsideration of the welfare of our security forces. But let them also know that we all take risks to serve this country. The man that climbs an electric pole is taking a risk. The man that mines petroleum is taking a risk. We all, the medical doctor, takes a risk. It was so disheartening at one time that military men made a nephrologist, a medical doctor, to enter a gutter during COVID lockdown. He was going to his work. He's my friend. Very sickening situation. And the policemen or some people in Cross River then fractured the hand of a medical doctor during COVID lockdown. And the world is watching us. That's why they are denying armed forces visas. That's why they are denying some of them asylum in Canada. They are repatriating one of them now, who was a member of SARS, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. We must prove ourselves to be a disciplined and civilized nation in 2025 and onward going. Now, there are some questions we need to raise. Question number one, the issue was resolved through dialogue. Why couldn't they have used the same approach in the beginning? The chief executive officer of Ikeja Electricity Distributing Company should have known the nature of their particular customer, the Nigerian Air Force, the significance, the strategic importance. There are ammunitions there that are supposed to be in a cool temperature. The temperament and the precedences that have occurred. Social intelligence will have required that, number one, you should have dialogue with the head of that place. He said they are frequently changed. He should have met the chief of defense staff. He will listen to him. He should have met the minister for defense. He could also, they have an association. They could, as a body, have met the president. And this situation would have been avoided. But you see, I know the way they behave. Every Nigerian likes to intimidate each other. I know they install something that cuts off when electricity, your token or what you paid has been exhausted. But you see, these guys don't own those barracks. They don't control the finances directly. And so, he should have gone, the CEO should have gone a long distance to try to recover his 4 billion. 4 billion is a big death. It will paralyze any company. But you need to use wisdom. When fly perches on your scrotum, you need wisdom to kill it or drive it away. But there are more pertinent questions. The commander said that he will investigate and sanction those involved. So, several questions will arise. How come those trucks with those men with arms and uniform leave the Air Force base without the knowledge of the commander? That's a big risk. Number two, if they left with his knowledge, what instructions did they give to them? Number three, if there was somebody that led them there, who gave that person instruction? And the mission, what was the aim of the mission? To destroy the place? Will that restore electricity? It was impunity and reckless adventurism that was being typified in that action. Now, you can't invade a private organization that is rendering a national service because you are armed and because you wear uniforms. It's not done anywhere in the world, particularly when you are owing them. We are no longer in the military era, and the electricity distributing company, they paid money to the federal government to own the right to run that business. and businesses are run profitably. Now, the indebtedness to the Ikeja electricity distributing company, that raises another question. Is that place not budgeted for? If it is budgeted for, does that not include recurrent expenditure, the 4 billion? Does not that include recurrent expenditure? I agree that there are a lot of military barracks that are owing. The defense minister is that not part of what he should have presented to the House of Assembly? And the electricity distributing companies, you could have gone to the Senate or House of Representatives and presented your case so that the Minister of Defense will be summoned to answer to the nation why those bills are not paid. Now, it is a shame that a sensitive place like the Air Force Base, close to the close to the airport, domestic wing, and also the international wing, does not have an alternative power supply. 4 billion is a huge debt. And if with 1 billion, they could have had an independent power plant in that place. After all, there are estates here in Delta State that have their own power supply and with prepaid meters in the buildings. You get 3 kiloscar generators. Let a gas company be coming to refill the cylinders, 3, so that when one is working, 2 are resting. When one cylinder is finished, 2 are available until they will bring from either Greenville or anywhere. And then you can have solar power for where the ammunitions are kept that needs to be cool. And by the time you spend 1 billion judiciously, 2 billion judiciously, you will have an alternative power supply in that Air Force base. And so you won't depend on the national grid. Now, we can repeat that model in different modules in different parts of the country. And so this idea of our military bases owing will be eliminated. And our military men can sleep well, rest well, their children can read, their computers can work, their workshops can work, because it's a big risk keeping them in darkness. Now, Nigeria happens to everyone. We are not an efficient country. We are a dysfunctional country. It happens to the elite, happens to the military, and happens to the citizens. It might take time, but every person, everybody go chop jollof rice, either for party or for home. Either the one they use firewood cook or the one they use gas cook. I'm always amused and amazed when we bring tribalism into issues. I was watching them. The Air Force man is a Yoruba man. The CEO, a Yoruba man. I know one of my former staff is working there. But a lot of those who most probably were traumatized are Yoruba people. This country, our problems cut across different tribal groups. There is inefficiency, there is impunity, there is corruption, there is lack of foresight, there's lack of the rule of law, nothing will come out of this investigation, most likely. Imagine the security cameras that were broken, the electronic systems, billing systems, computers that were vandalized, limbs that were broken, people that were traumatized. The scar in the minds of those people will never be erased. Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. God, help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. We speak because we care. We speak because we want change. But it's as if we are speaking to a wall. Arresting people who say the truth, harassing them, won't change this nation. It will catch up with you one day. Toyin Okukpe is dead. My heartfelt condolences to his family. I'm going to do a video about him in the next post. I remain Dr. Charles Apoki. I have a webinar coming up on how to the wisdom to legitimately make more money. Send a message to +234 80 21 21 92 62. The admin will send you the flyer and we'll have properties for sale. Send a message to that same number +234 80 21 21 92 62. God bless this country. God help this country. I am Dr. Charles Apoki. It's a big risk living in this country.